Okay, well, tell me if you have a good memory or no.
Good memory. Oh, of course, I have. I have a good memory. Yeah.
Okay, so how? You know, when you say I have a good memory,
How?
so tell me what can you remember and tell
What?
me how you remember everything.
Mm, good memory. Um. Hmm. When good memory.
For example, when you want
Ah.
when you,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Just, yeah, you say, then I can ask my question. Yeah, you keep going.
Sorry. I used to have good memory. Not now. Not now. It's not very not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why?
Mm, why? Maybe why? Why? There are many things to think of.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah,
yes.
of course.
And when I was a child, I could remember. I say when I went to school, I could remember what the teacher said. Even though I at home I, I didn't learn well, but I could remember.
Yeah, of course. Well, tell me, and what do you do in order to memorize everything? So some people make notes. For example, write down something. Some people have some reminders. For example, set reminder to actually remind them, something like alarm or something like this. So what do you do in order to memorize everything or in order to remind something?
Mind something. Mm. This day when I learned Japanese, I try to remember situation, the situation. So it helped me to use correct to use the uh, it's helped me to use correctly when I use a new vocabulary or a
Mhm.
phrase.
Yeah,
So I it's the way I
yeah, of
to
course.
to remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Well, do you remember when you studied at maybe high school, at school? So tell me, how could you learn? And I remember that. So we had when I was in high school. I remember I used to, for example, not repeat, but I used to, for example, for pronunciation or for example, memorizing words. I used to repeat them. So did you do the same
Yeah.
thing in order to memorize? For example, I remember that I used to say some words again and again in order to say the meaning of them or something like this. So, what was your method in order to memorize?
Hmm. Sometimes I try to repeat. Sometimes I try to write again, write down, right?
Mhm. Of course, of
Mm.
course.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at
Like,
these actually ways. There are some methods here. So, how to memorize? So, how to memorize? Okay, so the
right.
first
Yeah.
one, repeat what you hear out loud. So, what do you think about it? It doesn't work to me, definitely not, because when I say something out loud, I can't focus. So that is something that I
Yeah.
definitely avoid doing. So what do you think about it? So when you want to memorize something, do you repeat what you hear out loud?
Yeah, maybe it's a good way. You know, when I learn history is like because there are many things to remember. I just go around and repeat, repeat over
Yeah.
and over. So it was a good way.
Mhm.
It helped me to remember in a short time.
Yeah, of course. So and out loud?
Yeah, I think it's a good way.
Yeah, you think it's good
Out loud,
way.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, that's great. So,
yeah.
and the second one, divide information into chunks. You can divide information into some different parts, into chunks, for example, some different parts, okay, so that you can memorize them easily. So when you want to memorize a whole, maybe it's really difficult. But when you divide your information into different parts, chunks, so it will be easy to learn and memorize them. Do you agree?
Yeah, yes, sure. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after that,
Well,
we have,
we need
yeah,
to remember however.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And after that, making association, it means, making combination. Sometimes, for example, I'm gonna go shopping for grocery. So I need to have a list. And of course, I will forget. So I make association. It means different groups, combinations. For example, I say, okay, for example, kitchen and of course bathroom. Okay, so I know what items I do need, so I can make combinations, okay, associations. So what do you think? Does it work?
Association. Mm, make association.
Do you want me to explain again?
Yes, please.
Of
Um,
course. For
so you make
example,
group. Yeah.
yeah, of course, for example, you have a
Yeah,
list,
please.
okay, and you're gonna go shopping, for example, for grocery or something else, okay. You have a list, different items, so sometimes we forget it, but if I actually make associations, it means make groups, connections. For example, the things that I need for my kitchen, so this group, okay, the thing that I need, for
Oh,
example, for
okay.
cleaning, okay, so make something like
Oh,
connections.
okay. Okay,
It will be
understand.
really easy. For
Yeah.
example, sometimes I do something like this. Okay, to memorize, we can do something. I make a story. For example, I go
Uh,
to the kitchen and open the refrigerator, check for it. I make association, something like combination, make connection, among words so that it will be really easy to remind them. Okay, for example, when I say red,
yeah.
I remember tomato. Ah, red and tomato. So they can, yeah,
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe it's a good way.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
so.
it's a good way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
And the last one may be a traditional way. That is really good way. And we used to use, and of course we are used to using, and of course we will get used to. So something like making notes. We normally do this. Of course,
Yeah.
sometimes
Of course.
I
Of course.
of
Yeah.
course, but sometimes I make notes and to remind myself to do something. For example, I will have a makeup session, for example, on Wednesday, and I forget to check my notes.
Yes. Yeah.
So it depends on person.
Same.
Well, yeah, let's keep going. Highlight, of course, another way in order to
Mm,
maybe memorize and highlight information. So you can use some highlighters, especially when you're reading, studying. It's really good way. And after that, yeah, have you ever forgotten an appointment with, for example, doctor or someone else? For example, you had a doctor's appointment and you forgot.
yes. Many times. Many times. Yeah, of
Yeah, of
course.
course, of
And
course.
yeah, many times. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something here.
I
We have,
hear I was
yeah,
like when I was in I when I was in Japan, I went to the dentist, and in Japan you cannot make an appointment every week.
yeah,
You cannot
yeah,
just 2 or 3 weeks a time, one
yeah,
time. So
yeah.
you forgot.
Oh,
So
so it's
I
normal.
forgot the appointment with the doctor many
Yeah,
times. Yeah,
yeah, of
yes.
course.
So
Yeah,
the doctor angry.
yeah. Got angry, yeah, of course. I know got angry, became angry.
Yeah,
Well, let
yeah,
me ask you another question because I have this issue. So let me ask if you have the same thing or no. I have a really good memory about I have actually a good long-term memory, so I can remember
yeah,
everything related to the past. When I was, for example, 20,
yeah,
everything is really clear. It's something like, I'm seeing a movie. But short-term memory,
yeah.
awful. For example,
Sometimes,
I tell you that, okay, I will send you this worksheet after class, I will forget. So this is something related to long-term memory and short-term memory. So why do you think our long-term memory is better than short-term memory?
mm,
Why?
mm, wow. Mm, I don't know why, but yeah.
Do you
Mm,
have the same
I think for
issue?
short-term memory,
Yeah.
no, I remember short-term memory. Yeah, and for long-term, uh, sometimes I forget.
Yeah, so you're not the same as
Oh,
me. So
yeah,
because I remember
yeah,
everything, from the past and very
yeah,
clearly. But yeah, I think because we are really busy nowadays, so we don't focus.
yeah,
For example, I have lots of things to
yeah,
do every day, so I don't focus on details. So after class, I may forget everything
yeah.
that I just. So I think it's because of this. Bad. Well, forgetful, this is a common adjective that we use, and actually about a person who has a good memory. There are different words that, for example, we can use, but the best one, actually, as a native, I say that we can say, for example, I can say, you have a good photographic, for example, you have a good photographic memory. So this is something. It means you have a good memory. You have a photographic memory, you have a good memory. But
Photographic memory.
normally, but
Yeah,
normally you say that, for example, you have a really good memory. Or we say that, for example, your memory is fantastic. And so your memory is fantastic. So you can say something like this. So it
that's
means
it.
photographic memory or
Yeah,
good memory.
yeah,
Okay. Well, and okay, memory, highlight, appointment, and forgetful, the words that we learned. Now, let me ask you another question. So, do you think actually something or diets and something that we eat or drink during the day affects our memory?
Well, maybe, maybe. I hear that if you shortage some, mm, if you are not enough, you are not enough nutrient. Maybe you cannot
Nutritious.
you you don't have a good memory. Maybe,
Of course, of course. Yeah, if your body
yeah,
don't, of course, if your body doesn't get enough nutritious,
uh,
it means good things from food, of course,
nutrition.
yeah, you won't have good memory. Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, I do agree. Well,
Yeah,
okay. Another question. Yeah, today I have lots of questions. So, okay, the next one. So, did you used to
okay.
highlight, did you used to highlight phrases and sentences when you were, for example, when you started in university, that was a method that you used to use in order to learn and memorize?
Yeah, of course. Things, yeah, of course.
And
I
did it
highlight
work?
the mm, yes, sometimes it work. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
important keyword
Mm.
I highlight. I
Mhm.
highlight. Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me, have you ever forgotten something really, really important? For example, your wife's birthday, or I don't know, something like this, your anniversary. So, have you ever forgotten
Mm,
something like this?
mm, yes, sometimes.
Oh, so what?
What? What? Mm. Just one time, one or two times. I in a weekday I got up, but I forgot to go to the office.
You woke up and you forgot to go to
So
the office?
I did the yes for you say for weekday the
Yeah,
we always we when we get up we have breakfast and go to the office, right?
of
But that's
course.
just one or two time I uh I get up I got up and I mistook the time, so
Oh,
I
that's really
didn't
great.
I didn't go to the office. Yeah.
That was really good.
Just
Yeah,
in when I was younger, when younger.
of course. Of course, now you're experienced and you don't forget, but that was really good. You forgot to go to the office. That's really good. Well, okay. So, we have a audio section, so we're gonna listen to an audio. Just let me stop sharing this one and share another thing. Okay, so this one, I think. Okay, and just give me a moment to. Okay, I think I have it here. If I can find it, just give me a moment to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could find it. Okay. So this is an audio section related to memory and the ways that we can use to improve our memory. So let me share the screen again and wait for it. Just hold on for a minute, and then we can listen.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so while it's being uploaded, so let's keep going with this structure. I teach you the structure, and then of course we can listen to this audio. Okay, well, it's easy, it's difficult. So that is really interesting, I think, to use adjectives and verbs together. So not only easy or difficult, we can use, for example, it's really important to me to talk to your manager, for example. It's really easy to talk English, for example, and to talk, for example, to speak English, or it's really difficult to learn Chinese. Okay, so you can use this structure that is it's, is, or it's, of course. And after that, you have adjective plus adjective plus to, and of course,
Yeah.
verb that is based from, to plus infinitive. So it's easy to, it's difficult to, it's hard to do, it's really hard to do. So that is a good way to make a good combination using adjective and verb. Because as you know, we normally use adjective and noun
Yeah.
together. So to describe a noun, but sometimes we can do this. So the first it's, and after that adjective and plus to and verb. So it's easy to remember. It's hard to remember. It's important to remember. Okay, it's difficult to remember. And of course, you can use some words like really or very. Really is better to emphasize your adjective. For example, it's really hard to understand. It's really hard to understand Chinese. Okay, so something like this. Or it's really easy to speak English.
Yeah.
So you can use the structure, and of course, you can use some words like really or very. Really is better in or to or so, okay, in order to emphasize your adjective.
Yeah.
Well, now let's make some examples. For example, let's get started. It's your turn. It's easy.
Um, it's easy to. Uh, okay. It's easy to learn Japanese if you are Korean.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
how? Because, there's something the same,
It's
the words and
y- yeah, I hear that the grammar is totally is the same, familiar, and
yeah.
most Korean I met, they are very good at Japanese.
Oh,
The
Japanese
same
or Chinese?
uh, Japanese, Japanese.
Ah, Japanese. So, okay, because
Yeah,
I think Chinese is the most difficult language around the world. I'm not sure, but I think that it's really because, I have some students from China, and I think, I can't understand even one word, nothing. That's too hard.
but yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think
The,
that's really hard.
the accent is very difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, it's really difficult. And okay, so it's really easy. Now, another example using difficult or important is your choice.
Okay. Okay. Important. Important. Hmm. Uh, Also, now I make
Of course.
the symbol.
Of course,
Yeah.
using it's important
Hmm.
or it's difficult.
Difficult. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. It's difficult to it's difficult to pronounce Vietnamese uh because because there are many sound. There are many sorry, there are many familiar sound in Vietnamese language.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, sometimes
Yeah.
you want to make
It's the import.
it's important. Yeah, say. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's difficult to sorry. It's difficult to pronounce Vietnamese correctly
Yeah,
because there are many familiar sounds in Vietnamese. Yeah.
yeah, of course, of course. Well, so sometimes that was really good, but sometimes we want to say something that, for example, it's really important not to do something. For example, it's really important not to interrupt someone. It means when someone is speaking, okay, it's not good to interrupt. Okay, so it's really
Right.
important not.
Yeah.
So when you want to make negative statement, you can
Not
add
to.
not before to. So, or for example, it's really difficult not to, for example, eat fast food.
Not to.
Not to eat fast food. It means,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to
Not to
eat,
eat
you
fast food.
want to
Yeah.
eat fast food. So it's really
Yeah.
difficult not to. So if you want to make negative statement, that's really easy. Just add not before to. Because, some people, some
Not.
students think that, okay, we can use don't. No, never, ever. So when we have something like this, okay, uh,
Yeah.
we need to use not don't. For example, it's really important not to go into someone's
Not to.
room without permission. So not to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so this is about negative statement. Well, now it's turn to listen. Okay, so this one. Well, how to improve your memory? Some friends are talking about ways to remember things. Check the ideas they talk about. Okay, so let's
Okay.
listen this one.
Page 44, Lesson 10A. Improve your memory. Activity 2, Part A. Listen. Some friends are talking about ways to remember things. Check the ideas they talk about. First, people's names.
I met that new guy yesterday, you know? But it was really embarrassing.
Really?
I couldn't remember his name. I still can't. You know who I mean, don't you?
Sorry, Ben, but I don't know who you mean. You need to improve your memory.
I know.
The way I remember names is I think of the place where I first met the person and who they were with. Then it's easier to remember their name.
Good idea. But here's what I think. You should try to remember the first letter of their name. If it's Bob, think B. B.
Yes. Or you should write down their name the first time you meet in a notebook.
Oh, okay. I'll try those ideas. Now, I still can't remember that guy's name, though.
Next, important numbers.
My problem is that I can't remember numbers.
What? Like phone numbers?
I sometimes forget phone numbers, but I have more of a problem with other numbers. You know, like my social security number or PIN numbers.
Well, you should say new numbers aloud several times.
I think you should write the number down. And not just once, but several times.
Oh, you can also break the number down into smaller numbers.
How do you mean?
Well, let's say you want to remember this number, 135790.
Okay.
Well, think of it as 135790. You know, as pairs of numbers.
Oh, okay. I'll try that.
Well,
Finally, English vocabulary.
okay.
Hiroshi, hi. Have a seat.
Hi.
These are my friends. Guys, this is Hiroshi.
Hello, I'm Maggie.
Hey, Maggie.
Hiroshi. Hi, yeah, we met yesterday.
Oh, I remember you. Hi, Ben.
We were just talking about ways to remember things.
Really? Well, I'm still learning English and I find it really hard to remember new vocabulary. Any ideas?
You should say new words aloud several times. You can say them quietly to yourself, but it's the pronunciation that's important with new words.
That's right. And always use a dictionary. And look at the example sentences in the dictionary, not just at the meanings. The sentences show how to use the word. That's important.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Oh, and you should highlight each new word when you see it in a book. A yellow highlighter pen is always good.
A highlighter pen?
Yeah. Do you have one?
No, I need to get one.
Here, Hiroshi, you can have this one.
Oh, thanks very much, Maggie. Any more tips?
Well,